Hi, I'm Michael Wan. Thanks for watching us today. Another Supreme Court Justice, another conservative Supreme Court Justice imminent. That is the subject of today's op-ed. So Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg underwent lung surgery to remove cancer. Doctors discovered Ruth Bader Ginsburg's cancer after she fell, and she has broken 3 ribs. And it seems like she might not come back at all. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me it seems highly unlikely for RBG to come back. Why? The Supreme Court has given no indication when Justice RBG will return to the bench. She missed her 3rd straight day of oral arguments last Wednesday and will also miss next week as well while recuperating from cancer surgery. Her absences this week from oral arguments were her first since joining the court in 1993. Chief Justice John Roberts announced from the bench that Ginsburg is continuing to participate from home, and she is expected to continue from home next week. This is not unprecedented, but there is a sense that something might be seriously wrong with Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. A court spokesperson said there is no date set yet when RBG will be back to the bench. The 85-year-old justice underwent lung surgery in New York City last month to remove cancerous growth and is continuing to recuperate. The discovery came incidentally during tests after she fractured several ribs during a fall in November. Ginsburg has dealt with a series of health concerns in recent years. She broke 2 ribs in 2012 and previously battled 2 bouts of cancer in 1999 and in 2009. She also had a stent implanted in her heart to open a blocked artery in 2014, and she additionally broke 3 ribs last year. So we all know that she has a lot of health problems. So let's look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She went to Harvard Law School and was nominated to the Supreme Court by Bill Clinton in 1993 to replace retiring Justice Byron White. Ginsburg was Clinton's first Supreme Court pick, and she is known to be the most extreme far-left Supreme Court justice. There are 9 Supreme Court justices, and she is considered most liberal among all 9. So prior to ascending to the Supreme Court, Ginsburg became the first woman to receive tenure at Columbia University Law School and is also the co-founder of the American Civil Liberties Union's Women's Rights Project. She is known to be a feminist, and if you read some of the documents that she has written back in the day, I don't think she would have been picked as a Supreme Court justice in this day of age. I just don't understand why she was picked in the first place. I think it was a wrong decision back then. When Clinton chose her, she got 93 approval from the Senate, only 7 opposed. But if you look at the documents, I wouldn't go into detail, but some of the content said that she would like to have 12-year-old girls, or boys allowed to have sex, consensual sex, and not be considered rape. So I don't understand that kind of thing that she wrote. But anyway, Ginsburg is the oldest member on the Supreme Court, and her retirement has been a topic of great speculation for years. She's going to be 86 this coming March. I think there should be an age limit. That's what I think. I think U.S. Supreme Court justices, they should have an age limit. And I don't think she really has it up there. If you look at State of the Union speeches, presidential speeches, she always falls asleep. And I highly doubt her having a clarity of mind. And I don't know how she makes decision. I bet she always just goes left all the time, every single time. But I believe that she's probably going to leave. I think she's going to leave. And President Trump might pick another conservative justice. So I can guarantee you one thing. Democrats and the left do not want her to leave. If you listen to like HBO's Bill Maher or MSNBC's Rachel Maddow, they are saying, let's give Ruth Bader Ginsburg the best medicines available in this world, or any Chinese medicine, so that she can lengthen her life. But I don't think that's going to happen. I believe that Trump will pick another Supreme Court justice. I have a hunch that she will be leaving her bench pretty soon. I don't think she can hold it that long. And for instance, so President Trump, if he picks another Supreme Court justice, that will be his third time. The first one, he chose Neil Gorsuch. The second one, Brett Kavanaugh, all very conservative. Many people say Kavanaugh is actually more conservative than Neil Gorsuch. And you have other, like John Roberts, other conservative justices, 5. And you have 4 liberal justices. And I believe this year it will turn not 5-4, but it's going to turn 6-3. 6-3, which means most of the cases that is brought up to the U.S. Supreme Court will be won on the conservative side. So that's going to happen. I really think that's going to happen. So that's why Donald Trump is winning this whole game. Last year, Trump already knew that Democrats are going to take Congress. So that's why Trump focused on the Senate. If you looked at his campaign last year, he only focused on states that were crucial on the Senate side. And he achieved that. He increased from 51 to 53 on the Senate side. Okay? So Republicans have a strong hold on the Senate. Even though they lost in the House, it doesn't really matter that much. Because in the midterms, it's very hard to win both. There has only been 3 cases in the past 100 years where the president kept both House and Senate. So it was a big win. I consider it a huge win for Trump last year, the midterm election. And now we have this Russian scandal going on. That also is an advantage Trump, because the whole thing was fabricated. The Trump dossier was fabricated, and they spied on Trump using wiretaps against Carter Page, an advisor for President Trump. Back then, candidate Trump. I think he's going to. I think once he declassifies the FISA documents, all hell will break loose, and it's going to bring the House down. It will. And there has been some reports that last year's midterm election, there was a lot of voter fraud going on last year, and that will be also exposed. So the Democrats probably might not be able to do some of the voter frauds come 2020. And especially the U.S. Supreme Court issue. That is probably one of the most important issues that a president can handle. So it's unprecedented, almost unprecedented, to pick 3 U.S. Supreme Court justices. There were some presidents that didn't have that kind of opportunity. So Trump will pick 3. I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is on her way out. It's hard for me to imagine her to get well and come back. Probably that is a possibility. I'm not wishing her any ill, but I believe it's gonna be 6-3. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Then, even though so that connects with the wall issue, the steel wall. So the Democrats are all against it, okay? But Trump is gonna use his executive power to build a steel wall using money on the defense side. There has been some report that he's going to pull out $20 billion, from Pentagon. And CNN reported that he's going to use some natural disaster funds and use that to build the wall. Anyway, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Nobody's doubting that he's not going to do it. I think he's going to do it. There might be some lawsuits filed by these knucklehead appeals court judge. Probably it's going to happen, and the lawsuit will go all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And by that time, I think that there will be 6-3 conservative U.S. Supreme Court. So, and I think Trump will have his win there too. So he's actually winning in a lot of areas. Look at his trade deal with Canada and Mexico. That's a huge win. He pulled out of TPP. He pulled out of the Paris Accord, which is one of his biggest accomplishments, by the way. that ridiculous law that prevents America everything, but it allows China and India and Mexico, all these countries that have caused so much pollution in the world, they can do anything they want up until 2028 or 2030. That is completely ridiculous. He pulled out of the Iran deal, and he put so much sanctions to North Korea that brought Kim Jong-un to his knees, and he pretty much begged to have a meeting with President Trump, and I think things are going well. There has been no nuclear test so far, and no ICBM test ever since they started their talks, and they're going to meet again pretty much, I believe, in February, and things are going well between Trump and Kim Jong-un. So he's winning in all fronts. But if you only watch the mainstream media, the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, all these nut jobs, if you just watch them or read these papers, then you feel like he's losing on every front. But actually, it's the other way around. Another win for President Trump. He fired Jeff Sessions, pretty much, and he has William Barr waiting. So William Barr, they say he's a close friend to Robert Mueller, special counsel Robert Mueller. So some are saying, why did Trump pick somebody who's close with Robert Mueller? You know what? I think there might be something else going on here. I think Robert Mueller might be investigating something else. I might be wrong, but he might be investigating something else than the Russian collusion thing. You know, there's a possibility. There has been some talks before that Robert Mueller might have been secretly investigating. Could be Democrats, or could be Hillary people. Who knows? Who knows? We don't know for sure. But there is another investigation going on that has been reported by New York Times and Washington Post, even CNN and Fox. So, and that is why Michael Flynn, former national security advisor who was fired by Trump, Michael Flynn has been cooperating a lot, and he has been giving many information to Robert Mueller. So that's why Robert Mueller recommended no jail time to Michael Flynn. So Robert Mueller had to report to the Justice Department whatever Michael Flynn said. And I think Michael Flynn said something really big. That's my hunch, that's my guess. And it's going to lead to investigations and a lot of arrests. And Sarah Carter, a Fox News contributor, Sarah Carter, she said that there are a lot of sealed indictments. You know, I don't know, but to me it seems like that's related to FISA. I think there's a lot of things related to that. You know, and once Donald Trump declassifies the FISA document, like I told you already, all hell will break loose and it will bring the house down. I really believe that. And I think President Trump, he did an interview with New York Post last year in November, and he said that he will use it when it is necessary, when it is politically most damaging to the Democrats. That's what he said. So since he said it, I think he's going to do it, probably within this year. It could be next year. I don't know. I think it's going to be this year. And many people are wondering whether, you know, when Sarah Carter was talking about sealed indictments, many people are wondering what are those about, you know. And I believe it's going to go all the way up. I believe it, you know, Obama might have been implicated regarding this whole Russia collusion fabrication thing, you know, and Hillary, and James Comey, and Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, all these people, all the usual suspects. I think they're all involved, and probably James Clapper, the former DNI director, and also John Brennan, former CIA director. And I think they used their friends, their allies, like, you know, English-speaking countries like Australia, Great Britain, Canada. I think they used they used these agencies to spy on American citizens. You know, because according to law, you can't, FBI or CIA, they can't spy their own citizens. That's the law. unless they have concrete proof that they're involved in some treasonous acts, which was clearly not the case with Carter Page or George Papadopoulos. So I think I think Democrats, the mainstream media knows this is going on. They know this is going on. They know it. So I think they're freaked out right now. They are freaked out, and that's why I think the mainstream media, they're spreading all these fake news, ridiculous stuff, about Paul Manafort, that he has been sharing Paul data with Russia. I don't think it means anything, and New York Times did a correction. And for them to not completely ignore, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, to completely ignore FISA, what Lisa Page, the text between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, they completely ignored those. And that's why they're called fake news, okay? I think this will be all brought up again regarding the FISA issue. So I think Democrats has a lot to worry about. They have a lot to worry about. And I don't see any prominent presidential candidate if you look at the Democrat field. Look at them. Joe Biden, I don't think he has a chance against Trump. Or Elizabeth Warren, who lied about her heritage, that she had native Indian blood, which came out only like 0.something% or 1.6% or something like that. That is lower than the regular North American. That percentage is even lower than an average American. Can you believe that? So she claimed that she was a Native American, even when she applied to Harvard as a professor. She said that she put Native American. She didn't say that she was white. And I think they both used each other. Harvard wanted to claim that they hired a minority, a native, indigenous lady. So I don't think Elizabeth Warren is a good candidate. I don't think Joe Biden is. But I eventually think Joe Biden will be picked. But anyway, I don't think he has a chance. I don't think Bernie Sanders has a good chance. I don't think Kamala Harris, there has been some report from The Hill and Fox that Kamala Harris might run for president. She's only in her second year in the Senate, She doesn't have enough experience. I mean, you don't need to really have experience, but I do think if you're a professional politician, I think you do. Or you got to be a CEO of a company or a general in the military. But I don't think Kamala Harris is a formidable candidate. Eric Garcetti's name is also flying around, the current LA City Mayor, Eric Garcetti. I do not think he can, I just don't see him winning the Democrat side. I don't know, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, he has great speaking skills and he has charisma, but I don't know whether he's a known entity right now. LA people know him, Californians know him, but I just don't see him at this point winning the presidential race. And they don't have anybody. Like Michael Bloomberg, I think Michael Bloomberg wants to run because he's so jealous of Trump's success, both as a businessman and as a reality star and as a bestseller author and as a president. I think Michael Bloomberg thinks that, I should have done it, Because he was a businessman and also he went to politics before Trump. But Trump jumped into politics and went straight to the top. But Michael Bloomberg, he was just a mayor for, but he was a mayor for New York. And Michael Bloomberg, I don't see him having a good chance. I don't think he has a good public speaking skills or the charisma. And I don't think Howard Schultz from Starbucks, I think he's also exploring a presidential campaign, but I don't think he has a good chance either, Howard Schultz. So it seems if you just watch or read the mainstream media, it seems that Trump is losing on every front, but in actuality, he's winning on every front. I want our viewers to know that. He's winning. He's winning all the way around. Even with the wall issue, I think he's on the winning side right now. So things are looking good, and I believe that 2019 will be a year to remember in the future. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right. It's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.